What do you wish you had in high school that kids have today? MP3 players / Spotify and the like. I had to carry around my Discman on my long walk home from school. Even with anti-skip it would still buffer every now and then. Don't get me started on batteries too. Nowadays it's so easy to listen to anything at any time, back then it wasn't. I'm still discovering new music from 20 plus years ago thanks to Spotify. So much easier than sitting next to the radio with your finger on the record button so you could capture your favorite songs on cassette tape. I went to high school with twins that sold CDs of pirated music for $1 a song. I guess they had capable internet, enough storage and were ahead of the whole pirated music curve by a few years. They had a whole binder of songs to pick from. My son is in his high school's robotics team. They have tons of tools to build robots to compete, including a big machine that cuts sheets of metal based on what digital file you send it. I'd have loved to have had that. When I was in high school, the most advanced tool I had access to was a dot matrix printer. I wowed my classmates with my complex report covers made with word art and highly pixelated graphics. Word art peak visual design. Yeah, this. I mentor a first robotics team and this is exactly what I would have wanted in high school. I was a total geek who was terrified of public speaking. Robotics would have given me a chance to use my skills and interests instead of hiding them, make friends with like-minded people and learn to communicate better. My high school had all kinds of sports teams and music clubs and drama and debate clubs and such, but if you were an nerdy kid like me your options were chess club, programming classes. I seem to have just missed that after I graduated. I took my first high school programming class in spring of 1978. I only graduated last year, and over here the whole curriculum was changed just as I was entering year 11. Now basic Python and Scratch is being taught to younger years and I'm pissed I only just missed them. Sure, I cloud learn it myself, and I probably will, but learning programming in a proper learning environment? I'm mad I missed that. Electricity. Username checks out. Damn, dude, you are older than I am. I'm in college as an older person ATM, and honestly, I wish I had the social dynamics lol. I was eating lunch and I heard two guys talking to each other and he was showing his friend something on his phone and he was like, bro, she's beautiful, I can totally see you guys together, and it seemed to make the other guy really happy. I don't know if he was maybe feeling insecure about how he looks or whatever, but you could tell it meant a bit to him. It just seems less cliquey. Less every man for themselves. I'm sure there's plenty of assholes, obviously. But just generally kids seem really nice and smart these days. Totally. I'm shocked, in a good way, at how supportive high school students are of each other compared to how it was when I was in school's late 90s/early noughties. I volunteered with my work to talk to high school students about bullying and they could have educated us honestly. Oh, this is so sweet. Personally, having come from high school in the 90s when we did have internet but it was more of a novelty, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is one of the greatest repositories of human knowledge and you can see the sources. It would have been amazing for it to have been built out to where it is now while I was in high school. Get the Encarta bra. Class of 1984, a word processing program. I cannot write or type for shit, I have dysgraphia. If I could have been able to get words on paper as easily as we can do now, who knows how my life might have turned out. This is something I'll never ever take for granted. I hate online textbooks, online grade books, and Dropbox assignments, but I really do love being able to type up assignments. I spent 12 years explaining my son's dysgraphia to his special education teachers. It was a nightmare, and it's still a nightmare when he has to fill out new applications and CVs pretty much any form. They had computers other kids could use, he was class of 2011, but they didn't know what dysgraphia was so he didn't get one. He used one at home but he had to handwrite all his papers. I can't imagine what you went through back then. When dyslexia was still being recognized as just lazy, edit a word for clarification. The internet. I was able to use the internet for a project during my senior year, really made me wish I'd had it my whole life. This project usually took 3 months, but I had it done in a week because most of that time was normally spent fact-finding. Best I had was Encarta on CD-ROM. Khan Academy. It would have been cool to have access to Khan Academy when I went to school. It's still cool to have access to it today outside of school. The stuff you can learn on there is insane. I think this is the best answer. Back in the day, if your lecturer was shit, you were either condemned to a bad grade, or you could try to leech information from the book or classmates. Now, if you don't understand something, there are like 400 million people on YouTube who have demonstrations of every kind of problem imaginable, for free. It might take a few hours of hit-and-miss searching, but you'll eventually find someone who can explain it. I made it through calc in high school because of YouTube videos made by random Indian guys. Better building and facilities. When I was at school the place was falling apart, and a couple of years after I left they knocked it down and rebuilt it with a state-of-the-art media center and technology and design department with 3D printers and SolidWorks CAD workstations. Most high schools are still falling apart. One of my favorite childhood memories was when it got cold in Florida and the school turned on the raccoon-infested heater and the smell of burnt hair was pumped into the classroom, and then all of a sudden a bunch of smoke, so they evacuated the building. Good times. A USB drive. If my project file size was too big, I had to carry like 5 floppy disks to school and spend entire homeroom and half of first period printing. I'm in high school and I've never seen anyone use a flash drive. Everyone just uses Google Drive because it's not a physical thing you can lose. I was in graphics. We carried zip drives. The HPV vaccine. My mom didn't want me to get it back in the day. She thought that if I got a vaccine against an STD, then I would start sleeping around. Yes and yes. Back in my days there was no such thing. Now all young girls get it for free, and I had to take them under medical prescription. Paid around $400 to $500 for them, if you convert the currency. Makeup tutorials on YouTube. These kids these days have no idea how good they have it. I was looking like an orange-faced, pale neck, raccoon-dyed mess. Yet teenagers are just skipping that whole shitty makeup period between like 13 to 16 BC of YouTube. This. Mom kinda gave me makeup and let me go wild in middle school. No makeup tutorials existed. Only feedback I got was one time when she told me my blush made me look like a clown. I completely gave up with makeup. Whereas my little sister, who grew up with makeup tutorial videos, looks older than me with her more sophisticated makeup and fashion knowledge because she has access to all these goddamn free tutorials now, and I'm just now working through watching those videos and trying to relearn what I never really learned in the first place. It's not fair. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.